South Africa on top in the first test. Although it was rain affected, it was a good start from South Africa to really rattle this Baz ball and cement their authority in this particular match. I think it was an excellent performance from our bowlers, our fast bowlers particularly. And we were going to talk about this obviously on the show today. It's a calling show, it's a review show for you guys to be able to call in and have your say too. So get involved in the live chat, get involved with the live call in link. It is in the live chat currently, so you can just click on that a little bit later and you can join the show and have your say. But before we get going into this review, before we get started, please click subscribe to this channel. Please click that notification bell for all future videos. Please also smash this like button. Please comment on this video after the video is live. Share this with all your friends and family. It's very important that you guys talk on the video after the video is live, because that's how we get into more recommended feeds, etc. More people will start looking at it and be interested to watch the videos. So please get involved in the live chat. Also, get involved with the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And you can also become a Patreon today. You can help us promote South African cricket, help us grow South African cricket by becoming a Patreon. That's what we will be doing with the money that goes to the Patreon account. And then you know that you need to like and comment. But if you want your regular updates, we've got cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your updates. So please get involved there too. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Looking forward to chatting to you guys about this. A lot to talk about. Even though it was only basically a half a day of cricket, there's still quite a bit to talk about. So let's get straight into it. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about all things South Africa versus England in the first test at Lords. Now, what has happened? What has taken place in this particular match? Well, there are quite a few things that we need to talk about. First and foremost, the thing that stood out to me is KG being back fit and playing in this particular match. I think that was a key factor for us to be on top in this match. He started off beautifully. I mean, I already tweeted after his first over and I said, KG's looking good. I could tell by his rhythm, the way he's running in. His bowling was accurate. Normally, KG starts quite slowly, and I've covered him a couple of tests before, so I can get a bit of an understanding of, and I've been able to attract a type of understanding or take out a type of understanding of his style of play, what makes him good, what makes him bad, etc., etc. So I've seen him quite a bit. I've seen him start off series, and I watched him bowl, and he was very accurate. He knew exactly what he was doing. Flirted a lot with the outside edges, inside edges, pads. Obviously making the batters play up front at top, and then he took out both openers. Fantastic bowling performance by KG today. He really set the tone. But we need to give a lot of praise to Lungi Ngidi on that other end. I know he didn't take a wicket today. I know that he didn't take wickets, but he was excellent in his performance today. I mean, you can't deny that after first not well for your fast bowler to have those type of figures. And he really trapped the batters in their crease, forcing them to actually come out and play the shots. He's very good at that, and I think he complements the likes of Anrich Nokia and KG Rabada very, very well. But the main man that probably would be spoken about, for me, the delivery of the day so far, like, I mean, I know it was only half a day, but it will be, for me, the delivery of the day. And I think his performances specifically really put South Africa in the driving seat. KG started it off, but Anrich Nokia finished it. Magnificent performance from Anrich Nokia today. That ball to Johnny Bairstow, my lord, delivery of the day for me. Nipped in beautifully, 150 kilometers per hour, 149 point something. Excellent performance from him. Really nipped it in, cleaned up Johnny Bairstow. Didn't know what he was doing. And then not only that, he went on to take a couple of wickets, actually, in fact, in this particular match. So that was a good performance from Anrich Nokia. I mean, Yes, Root also was a key wicket because he seems to be the person that has always, obviously, he's always come to the party against. What did I want to say now? He's always come to the party against most batters, most players, most in most games he's come to the party. Sorry, I'm just getting distracted here about something that someone's telling me here. Sorry, guys. A lot of people have come to the party. He always comes to the party, Joe Root. Normally in these occasions, big occasions, he normally pops up and he saves England. Aditya's with us right now. Welcome to the show, brother. We've just started with it, so we're talking about Nokia's performance as a strike bowler today. He was phenomenal. Really put in an excellent performance. I think he obviously put South Africa in a strong position right towards the end. And I spoke about KG Rabada that set it all up, of course. That was also very, very important. That the fact that he set up the innings the way he did, I thought that was quite phenomenal. Um, but yeah, Nokia bowled excellently. We have to give him the props where it's due. I think he was an excellent all around quick. He bowled quickly. Obviously, the best wicket was the wicket for me, the main wicket for me. That was like the wicket of the day for me. But also squaring up Ben Stokes was very important too. And Ben Stokes is the type of player that can easily take the game away from you. We know that. Everybody knows that. So Aditya, let's get into this. I mean, obviously, really wish that we could have seen more cricket. South Africa were really in the driving seat. What are your thoughts on the bowling performance? They really countered Bazball phenomenally ultimately because when they started off, those two openers, I don't think they play under the Bazball view. They are really struggling for runs. And I don't think they are necessarily advocates of that Bazball. It's that middle order that was important. And that's what I was still calm after the first 3 wickets because I knew that actually after the first 2 wickets, because Ollie Pope has had a phenomenal day. He performed really well. He showed these signs against South Africa when he came to South Africa. He was dominating us here too. I really appreciate the way England has eased him into this team, and now he's become one of the main guys at the number 3. So your thoughts on the game, on this half a game? Half a cricket.
Remarkable from South Africa. I think over the last couple of years, we've been talking a lot about how South Africa are slow starters. They don't play to potential in the first test match of the series, and they've changed that spectacularly in 32 overs. And although Nokia's wicket of Bairstow was fantastic, he bowled excellently. Um, I I want to say I was relieved to see KG because we know that he's had some fitness issues coming into the test match. And I was very happy to see him bowl the way he did. He was fire today. He was absolute fire. And that's the way we want to see KG bowl. So to see Andrick and KG basically wreck England's batting unit is phenomenal. And, it's only setting up for the rest of the series because this is serious Test cricket. I think the players are hungry for it. We are hungry for it, and South Africa definitely delivered.
Hmm. You could see it in Dean Alga and Mark Boucher leading up to this test. They were so no fear, and I'm glad that it didn't backfire on them in this particular match. Now we haven't yet seen spin come into play. Keshav Maharaj is still there. He could really clean up the tail. I think it would have been actually a smart idea to bring him maybe after lunch, um, after a couple of obviously after a couple of quick deliveries from the likes of Anrich and maybe one of the other bowlers, etc. Bringing your seamers in after lunch, and then bringing on your spinners to maybe try and take out the tail, because I think they would have tried to obviously increase the run rate, get as much runs on the board. South Africa have put England in a perfect position now, 116 for 6. I think that's a perfect position. We need to finish off. This is not something that South Africa's been very good at in the past, is finishing off teams, especially when the team has a deeper batting lineup. They showed highlights of the game in 2012. Something similar happened there. They were down 4, down 5, down 6, and then all of a sudden 300 on the board. It takes one player to really push you forward and take the game away from you. Similarly against India, if it wasn't for Pant, South Africa might have gotten India out a lot cheaper than they did. It's a problem for South Africa, I feel, is taking out that tail and taking out that last couple of wickets to really put yourself in a strong position to dominate. The way the ball was moving today, nipping off the seam, moving a little bit in the air, but mostly nipping off the seam. Wobble seams were working, nipping off the surface. It's going to be tricky for our openers. And I do think that they need to get stuck in. Ali Pope today showed that you can play an attractive brand of cricket and you can play at a positive rate and still score on this wicket. I hope that our batters have looked at this and seen what they can do over here, because we definitely have the batters capable of putting on up innings like Ali did. But Dean Alga is going to be key. I think that we have an opportunity over here. Hopefully, we have a full game of cricket tomorrow. But and that the rain doesn't interrupt it too much, because according to the regional weather report, like which I'm gonna put up on the screen over here, Thursday is supposed to be a full game of cricket. Now South Africa can put themselves into a very strong position, and I hope that they are ruthless tomorrow. First session, they need to clean up as many wickets as possible, as quickly as possible, and get into bat as fast as possible. Because I really think that they can really win this game. Actually, they can put themselves in a position to win this game, even with the rain around, if they manage themselves well. I think that first innings is important. We can outbat England in that first innings. I feel that we can put on the runs in our first innings and really take the attack to England and put all the pressure on their baz ball, because they're going to come out in their second innings trying their best to try and win this match. And I think that that's the style that they're going to play. You have to also give them credit that they still continue to try. They all wanted to play positively. It just didn't work out. Like I say, the conditions matter when it comes to playing positive cricket. Um, Bairstow going out for a duck with a straight drive like that, I mean, so early on, I think he should have maybe just paced himself, got himself in a little bit, but it was a beautiful delivery. He was beaten. So unfortunately, there's a bit of both that we have to look at. But so far, I think South Africa's been brilliant in this match so far. And I think it's time to maybe have a look at some of the comment section and see what you guys have to say in the comment section. You guys can call in on the show as well if you want to. It's okay if you want to do so. The link is in the live chat if you want to come have this conversation with myself and Aditya. But let's get into some of the comment section over here and see what people are saying. A fit Anik Nokia is a quality placement. He is the real deal. Yes, he is. And we've always spoken about it. We need a fit Anik Nokia, because when he's slightly off the boil, he can misplace his balls and he can go to the boundary quite quickly because of his pace. So I think that he bowled excellently today. He was on fire, fired up for this match. Definitely was. That hype and all of those things that he said before this test match came to fruition today. He showed it in his performance at Lords, guys. I mean, we've had some excellent fast bowling performances in the past, from Vernon Philander to Mackay Ntini to Alan Donald to Aninoke to Dale Steyn, to so many fast bowling masterclasses. South Africa are showing it again as a unit, and I love that. Lungi didn't even take a wicket, and he looked really decent today. I love the way he can silence batters by just trapping them in the crease, not allowing them any movement. So that was also awesome.
Also, we shouldn't forget that Lords has a slope that can be quite challenging
Mhm.
for a bowler. Because when you bowl uphill, then that has the potential to reduce your pace. So you credit to South Africa because they are difficult bowling conditions. Given the English bowlers who have succeeded at Lords in the past, they're not exactly 150 kilometers per hour kind of bowlers. They rely more on swing and so on and seam. But yeah, credit to South Africa for the way that they've bowled today. It's pure fire.
Poor fire, yeah. Very true. Maka Janssen also well done. I mean, big wicket. To take a big wicket at Lords like that, that's a massive wicket to take. Your first wicket at Lords is Joe Root. I mean, I think you can really stand there and be proud of yourself for the way he bowled too, with energy, with vigor. We wanted that youngster in the team to see what he can do, and he performed. Let's move on a little bit. Let's talk about a little bit more. And Gide's playing that Morne Moko role. This Baz ball cricket situation is just a media spin, obviously, because I mean they were playing this style of cricket in 2012 in that game that I was talking about. I watched it, rewatched it again. They were going in at an attacking rate. The guys in the middle order were really attacking, similarly to what this is. Bonnie Bestow's approach, Ben Stokes' approach. and the rest of the all rounders that obviously come in because they can battle like wherever till 12, I would say. But generally speaking, that's where that attacking approach comes from. It's not necessarily coming from their top order. Um, if they had an attacking top order like that can really take the game away from you quickly, then I would maybe consider this to be labeled as something. But maybe this is perhaps why Brendan McCallum doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to coin at this. It's the media spin that has been going around. Khalid, Nokia is the perfect example of what a strike bowler is. Yes, he went for a few runs, but he took big wickets, and that's what a strike bowler is. And that's why I said Lungingiri is so important to this match because in this bowling lineup, because he puts pressure on the other end and allows his strike bowlers to be free. Having a bowler like Lungi in your team frees up your strike bowlers from taking the wickets because they will reduce the runs on the other end. So I love the way this team is bowling as a partnership. I look at it and I see it as partnerships coming in from the one end and striking from the other, striking from both if it's open for that. But I love the way this unit is bowling as a unit. Well, this bowling team is bowling as a unit. Nokia is ultimate strike bowler. Every team will want on their playing 11 100%. When you're bowling 150 consistently, I mean 90 miles per hour plus was a consistent from him. So I like what I'm seeing from the guy. Perfect performance from him. I think not perfect yet, but close to perfect. Let's not forget that KG is 5 wickets away from 200. Third, he will be the third fastest 250. Sorry, 250 wickets. I think it is 5 away from 250, and I think he'll be the fastest to that, third fastest to that. If he can get it in this match, of course. So let's hope that he can. We've got our first caller in with us. We've got Ashwani with us. Welcome to the show, brother. Looking all smart. How you doing, bro? What is your assessment of the game?
Yeah, fantastic performance by South Africa. First of all, hello to Khalid and Aditya. How are you? Yeah, can you hear me?
Good,
Yeah,
good. Thank you, bro. How are you doing?
yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah, fantastic performance by South Africa. I think the attack that South Africa poses today, obviously with the help of the forecast conditions, which is little bit greenish as well. But I think that attack is looks sublime. And if you took that attack, the variation in that attack, the left armer, 6'8", Marco Johnson, and the accuracy of Lungi and Gidi, pace and swing of your Rabada and Venom of Emric Nokia. I think this attacks looks top two attack in the world with Australia, and I think I will see in future Australia versus South Africa in Lords WTC final, and it's look like obviously it's very early to judge, but I think it's obviously from the first outlook I will see these two teams playing in the WTC final. Coming to the match, I think if you see the past trend of 2 3 years, I think BC openers techniques are exposing not only of England, but I think most of the teams like India, South Africa too. All the teams are, I think, struggling in that opening department, and same with England too. I think South Africa need to bat well in their innings as well, because I think South Africa is on the driving seat, but I think they need to remember. I think because with the load slope, that nursery and ball comings inward very sharply. So South Africa have to be beware of Stuart Broad as well, because that guy is very lethal against left-handers. So the guy like Elgar, Irvi, they need to aware of Mr. Stuart Broad. So I think overall day, I think it is fantastic for South Africa, but I think Ollie Pope's role can be crucial in the day too, and Ollie Pope looks splendid today, and I think he's the only batsman in the squad who looks, you can say that, very settled. And some shots he played looks like ditto like Ian Bell, and the glimpse of Ian Bell in his shots, straight away the drive which he goes to his half century. So I think South Africa need to all out England under 150, and obviously adds honors to Olipop as well, that he brings to that as gettable total, or you can say that respectable total for England team. It's around 180 to 200, so they can fight. And what a spell by Henrik Nokia today. I think lot of venom after Jofra Archer's Ashes spell of, you can say that 2 years ago. I think I saw that 150 radar uh, after long time in England. You don't normally don't see that 150 radars because due to the conditions as well. Bowlers normally put down their pace due to the due to they want to get swing to the ball. But I think Nokia was splendid today, and we want to see more from Nokia in the future too.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to get to next, actually, Ashwan, is ask you guys what you think will be a decent total that South Africa can go for, and try and actually get a victory out of this game. I know there's going to be some days lost, but let's start with you, Aditya, and then go to Ashwani. What do you think will be a good total? And then Ashwani, I can ask you what, because you've already answered it in a way, but I want to ask you what should be South Africa's approach, because I do agree that there's going to be a weakness at the top of that order against Broad. That two left armers, it's going to be tough.
I'd say 160 odd, given the situation that England are in. But the one thing that we have to be wary of is that we don't know how the wicket will change after the rain interrupted play today. The wicket might play a little bit differently, and if that is the case, then we have to temper our assessments accordingly. Uh, but given the situation they're in currently, I think 150, 160 should be what South Africa aim for. Uh, but let's see. I hope the rain hasn't saved England.
Ashwani?
Yeah, I think South Africa should restrict England to around 150. I would say, because I think because the last 4 days weather is very much clear, and I think the that bad weather it is coming only in the first day. So, and also you should remember that this batch of Duke balls is little bit different to the previous Duke balls which we saw in the previous summer, and I don't saw. In my lifetime from the day I watching cricket that 250 scores chases so easily in English conditions. Obviously, South Africa has to bat last, but I think that second and that third innings will be very crucial for both teams, because if England can bat out South Africa in the third innings, you never know. England can bounce back easily. You never discarded this English team on their home turf. So weather will be great, and I again warn you: this batch of Duke ball is not that type of Duke ball which we expected from the previous editions of Duke ball. So I think South Africa has to be, you can say that, bold, aggressive lines tomorrow. Obviously, that morning session will help them, and if they get little bit of leverage to English team, I think this English team has the potential. If they get over 200, 250, you never know. With the likes of Jimmy Anderson, that old 40 years old warrior, and Stuart Broad, they can get out South African very cheaply. And South Africa also remember that they are one better shot, so they have to be batted responsibly too. So I think South Africa need to bowl them out under 150.
That was the key word over there that I think, Ashwani, that I think I'm going to take out from your sentence there, is that bat responsibly. It's very important that they do so, that they play to their games, that they don't get sucked into this narrative, that they go ahead and play their natural game. I hope that they do so, and I hope that they come to the party in that way. Let me just get into some more comments over here. I see you guys talking about the FTP. That's shocking that we're only getting so little games. Lawrence obviously saying the FTP are tours that are scheduled between the various international boards. Means that CSA is happy with 113 games. Otherwise, they could have scheduled more games. England are playing 43 tests between 2023 and 2027 is absolutely ridiculous. Why are we only playing games in 23, 20 to 27? I'm at least worrying. Aditya, you've seen the story. Can you give us some little bit of update on your thoughts and opinion on this? It was quite shocking, and we're playing Zimbabwe, and we're playing. I don't know what else it is as well. It was a little bit shocking to me that this was the case. I mean, Test cricket. We need more Test cricket. We already play so little.
It was poor. It was seriously poor. But I think one thing that can possibly change that is South Africa's performance in this series. Because there has to be a certain degree of regret that comes with the FTP that we've just seen. And I agree with you, it is shocking. To play what 13 was it 13 tests in the next 4 years? That's insane. I mean, England and India, they play 15 in a year, 17 in a year. You can't have 13 tests over 4 year period. That is insane. Uh, Having said that, the economics around hosting a test match, they have to change. It's just not sustainable the way that it's done right now. I think, what was it? Uh, I think it's $200,000 um, spent to host a test match per test match. Like that's the bare minimum, and you don't know how much money you're going to recover from
Mhm.
tickets, because as we know, the last couple of years, because of COVID, they've been playing in empty stadiums. So it's expensive to host Test cricket, uh, but there has to be a better way to do it. This FTP is just utterly ridiculous.
Mhm. I wonder how much it's got to do with regards to budget restrictions, etc. Because I do know that a lot of the SA tours and SA emerging tours I've heard around through the grapevine that those are going to be cancelled. Even S under 19 tours from South Africa's point of view, there's not going to be many of them happening. So I wonder if that's got to do with the majority of this reason, because it costs a lot of money to run a test match, to put on a test match together and put a tour together.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this is damage control post COVID. They're trying to minimize the losses, and they want to make as much money as they can in the next couple of years, so that um, they fill their coffers. But yeah, I don't know if that's good for cricket in the long term. And
Mm.
um, I guess the reason that India, Australia, and England have got so many test matches is because their test matches are, they're always packed houses, right? So they guaranteed a certain amount of money there. But yeah, I do feel like South Africa should have got a lot more test matches. But yeah, I think if South Africa produce a couple of superstars, the performances are consistent over a period of time, they have that upward curve, then I think things will change.
Ashwani, you have any thoughts on this? I mean, you saw the story as well. Any thoughts on this?
I think the FTP, which ICC has launched today, I think it's very unfair to the teams like not only like South Africa, I think New Zealand, Pakistan, the teams Sri Lanka as well. Obviously, India, Australia, and England. These three are big boards. They have lots of money, but I think cricket is not playing between these three countries only. I think there are other countries too, and these other countries has rich legacy. South Africa has a rich legacy of, you can say that, Mr. Barry Richards, Graham Pollock. So I think it's equal to, you can say that, Australia, England, and India. If not less than them, it's equal to them. So I think ICC should look at the FTP programs, that what it be like. I think their mindset is more towards making money. And one thing I want to add to the leagues which are cropping up, and you can say that it's growing like mushrooms, like UAE leagues, even that South African league. Add IPL's 2.5 months window. I think it's not very good for the cricket. From my personal perspective, this IPL is little bit too longer, and I am bored after 40 to 50 matches. So I would say, I think these leagues, which are especially associate with associate nations like UAE, you bring in 9 foreign players. I think it's not sustainable. Cricket will lose its charm, because these if these type of leagues will continue grow, I think your international cricket will suppress. As Dave Horton, the Zimbabwean coach, has said that cricket is going towards the path of football, and only 3 months international cricket is remaining. So I think first of all we should remember that cricket is a country-based model. It's not like football or club-based model. We as a fans accepted cricket as a country versus country game, not club versus club. So obviously money is very important, but I think it's not more important than players' body machinery. I think ICC should look at him, and I would strictly against that leagues which are associated with the UAE leagues. Obviously, all the stakes have Indian owners, but I think one should look at players' mental and physical health.
I'm sure that this new SAT20 league is also going to affect it because normally we are used to having our series happening in December, January, like leading December, January, February. That's normally when majority of our games happen and our summer happens, our local summer. So that period between Jan and Feb where the league is going to happen is obviously taking away some chances for us to play some international cricket against some good tier nations. I mean, we've had it in the past where we played Australia up until March. We had India first, December over New Year, and then we had Australia. We've had it in the past where we've done it December. England came down here. They had a full tour February. It was a massive, massive thing, and it looks like that's not going to happen. I mean, already things are going haywire with regards to our tour to Australia as well. There's things happening there. I mean, the India tour is getting affected too, to a two-test match I see. It sucks that whenever we play India, it gets reduced. I mean, they want more white ball games than red ball games at the moment. Whenever they play us, I mean, even that tour that I met at Ditya, it was only a three-match series. We were hoping for four. They actually changed it. They added an extra ODI game to the mix and reduced one and took away one test match as well. And I think with the T20s as well, I think they did something there too. So shocking. I don't like that. I mean, I want to see the test format. It's the real, true format of the game.
Again, I want to reiterate that there has to be some way to figure out the economics of hosting a test match. The cost to the home board, for example. Because I think Alistair Campbell talked about it a while ago. When he was director of Zimbabwe cricket, and he said that there's no way that Test cricket is sustainable for teams that aren't as good, because there's there's a cost of broadcasting, of course, and then you have the ground for 5 days. It's not like if the Test match gets over in 3 days, you don't have to pay for the other 2 days. The same applies to food and the number of balls that opposition teams practice with and so on. So, there are all these considerations, and I just feel like there has to be a better way to manage the economics of hosting a test series. Because times have changed, and if we're talking about saving a format, quote unquote, then it requires measures that are out of the ordinary. So yeah, I don't know if someone in the RCC is watching this. Happy to have a chat.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Josh Ginger sums it up perfectly. He says, "Miss the old days of five ODIs, five tests, and two, three T20s." I miss it too. I mean, it was excellent to have those. Those long
I
series were
mean, I'm
always fun to watch, and they are.
sorry, I missed the old days of five ODIs and five tests. The two, three T20s have zero meaning for me. So the five tests and five ODIs are good. Don't need anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really considering it as well to maybe this. Why don't I just drop international T20 cricket?
It's
Um,
it's such a waste of time, man. Like, just think how often. Look at the last couple of series. Where even India's main players haven't played. Like, we recognize the players in what we term as the second string side because they're highly established in the IPL and we've seen them over the years. But you know, does it really matter? Is my question.
I
I don't
mean,
know. I mean,
all through the years, Aditya, we saw South Africa use it as an opportunity to fill up their quotas. We saw
exactly.
we see players not playing their full 11s and giving the chance for the players to rest. How many times has KG not played T20 cricket? And how many series hasn't
Yeah,
he?
exactly.
That's insane.
Because like players also have to rest, right? I think players want to play Test cricket. Like the best players out there want to play Test cricket, but it's just not sustainable. If they're playing 100 days of cricket each year,
Yeah.
it's just not going to work. Their bodies are going to break down at some point, and obviously you don't want that, right? So honestly, yeah, like Ramiz Raja had come up with this suggestion where I think India, Pakistan, Australia, and South Africa would play a quadrangular series, and I thought it was a brilliant proposition. Because like I think that's one way you get multiple teams playing in a series, and that adds excitement. That gets more countries playing. I think that's a great way to do these things because you look at the number of tri series that are played in cricket. How many tri series do you remember being played in the last like 2 decades? Hardly any, right? And so I think that's where cricket misses a trick in my view because there are ways to engage fans. It doesn't mean that because 4 years down the line after playing 13 test matches and you want South African test cricket to grow, how is that going to happen? That's difficult.
Yeah. What makes it worse is, for me, that the players that are playing T20 cricket, they obviously they're not necessarily learning from the game as much because they're all becoming specialists to play T20 cricket, of course. But what makes it, what do I want to say now? I actually lost my train of thought, to be honest with you. Before I get back to it, let me just get to this quickly. Quibus has thrown in a super chat. Thanks so much for the super chat, Quibus. You are a king. Instead of IPL, BBL, CPL, all these T20 leagues, this has been Champions League, and I have one massive league per year. That's what I said that too. I said we should rather, instead of this World Cup, what makes it worse is that the World Cup's every 2 years. Now, okay, yes, because of COVID, it's every now they're having two consecutive World Cups, but that's oversaturation for me. Like you are having two World Cups within two spaces of within a 2 year gap. There's no time for you to settle, to enjoy the previous victory. You're already thinking about look at this one now. We've already forgotten about Australia. We're already thinking about the next one. I mean, we've moved on from that. Where's the, like, I mean, England is still talking about being the world champions. There's some sort of feeling to it, like you get a sort of pride to it. The fact that you won the World Cup and you can be world champions for 4 years. Having it every 2 years is even worse. Now players are going to play more T20 cricket because they want to get into the World Cup squads. So it's just causing chaos. And all of these leagues, you've got IPL, BPL, CPL, you've got to have the South African League, the UAE League, you've got the T10s, you've got the flipping 100, you've got all of these shit coming out of everywhere, every corner of the flipping world. We're getting different leagues. I mean, for me, it's gonna deteriorate our cricket. It's also gonna deteriorate the quality of our cricketers because there's only certain amount of players that can play per team in T20 cricket. Just like in any league, there's only certain amount of squads that you can have with a certain amount of people. If everybody's going to be focused and only want to play T20 cricket, you're going to depreciate the value of players because all they're going to think about is how do I get into a T20 league? That's my pathway. That's the closest to the money. It's going to destroy our cricket. We're not going to be able to teach people the right things. It's and the right skills that they need to be able to play test cricket ultimately, because you're going to get more kids like Deva Previs or that are not as good as Deva Previs maybe come through and say, you know what, I'm going to go play rather T20 cricket and become specialist in this because I have a bigger chance of playing in um, Kazakhstan's T20 league than playing here, and getting double the salary. I'm sure that they're going to bring a T20 league sometime. Ashwani, you want to weigh on this?
Yeah, I think you are very much right. I think that one decision which ICC give all the rights to the associate nations around. I think how many countries would play cricket? I think 108 countries, and lot of the countries don't have that infrastructure to play the cricket. I think we should, if we want to play the cricket, I think there should be meaningful cricket, or you can say that we want to create a series like ODI series. It should be meaningful. In the previous matches, we saw that try series regularly happening in Sharjah in 90s. It's very famous. Then Australasia Cups in late 80s and early 90s. And also, if you want to create that club cricket, or you can say that we have Nisar Trophy in the past 90s, where India's domestic team champion Mumbai playing Pakistan's domestic team champion, you say Lahore or Karachi. So I think these are the, you can say that meaningful cricket. I think though nowadays cricket is just about money, making money, and you can, I will say that useless cricket. Obviously, I don't think there is any doubt about, for starter, if you are being realistic, you can only play test cricket between the 8 teams. And problem is that West Indies, if you take the example of West Indies have got a lot of problem because they can't afford to pay their players. They have you can say that salary issues. Their players going to the other leagues, many going to the USA. As same with Sri Lanka as well. Sri Lanka is going to that political turmoil. Sri Lanka have reasonable infrastructure, but I think but they have big political problems to sort out. And South Africa also faces though. Obviously, South Africa has one that advantage. Their club cricket or school cricket is very strong. I think it is one of the best in the world, which give them the pipelines of the players like Dewald Brevis, Tristan Stubbs, and many more to come. So I think they can afford to it. But the countries like Sri Lanka, West Indies, Zimbabwe, they will struggle too. And whoever thought of giving Afghanistan and Ireland test status is off their rocker. And but you know why it has been done. Why it has been done. It's so those because these countries get a vote.
That's excellent of you. Oh, Lorenzo, thanks a lot for the super chat. So the number one test ranking will be between Australia, India, and England. Does the number one test ranking even matter anymore with the test championship? I don't think it really matters anymore, to be honest. You win the test championship, you're world champions. This, and also I think that the way they're going to be looking at this probably will be weighted like they do for the world test championship. If you play a two test series, it probably will weigh more, or whatever the case may be. Or they'll work it out equally so that people can get the ranking points that are associated to what is fair, I think. I do think that they would have thought of that. If they didn't, then maybe they're as idiotic as the Glazers. I have to bring in United somewhere. Khalid, I think the concept of the leagues were copied from Capital Dev's ICL. Even though it was abandoned in '07, it had a compounding effect, and the leagues were copied from the ICL. Um, the West Indies are playing 72 T20s between 2023 and 2027. It's fucking ridiculous. Judge India obviously saying off the rocker. That's amazing. Brilliant. Tag that one. That's going to be like a t shirt for Ashwadi off the rocker on his t shirt. Yeah, Michael, the ever honest gentleman named Lalit Modi just copied the ICL and started the IPL in 2008, and rest is history.
Okay, so
Ban
that's sorry.
Right.
I have to correct that. I have to correct that previous statement, because the idea of a league in India was actually first floated in the late 90s. So sure, the ICL was commissioned in the mid 2000s, but the idea of the IPL was first floated in the late 90s, around 97, 98, or something like that. So to say that he copied the league, I'm not so sure, because Lalit Modi is he's quite a glamorous man, and he likes that. And given that the ICL wasn't even a tenth as glamorous as the IPL, I think it's fair to say that Lalit Modi did not copy that league. But yeah,
I think
Okay.
it's the idea of Mr. Subhash Chandra, who is a GE business honor, and in his leadership, the guys like Kapil Dev, even Tony Gregg is also involved in it, and two more ex-international players are there. So I think uh, maximum are right. It's from 2008, but I didn't know about that late 90s concept with Aditya mentioned. So I think IPL model is very much is from ICL, not ICL. I think they are copied from EPL. I think English Premier League model, which all the leagues are followed. So I think yes, you are very much right. I think these IPL is copied from ICL.
I mean, I gave the idea before instead of having the T20 World Cup to have like a Champions League type of vibe
Yeah, yeah,
between
yeah.
all the top teams or the top two teams from every single nation can play from every single league can play each other. But the problem with that is the overlapping. There's going to be overlapping in franchises. There's going to be overlapping in players that maybe play for the same franchises, etc. So it's going to be a bit tough to actually make that a concept that works. But at the moment, obviously leagues take precedent to everything else at the moment, and it sucks because I want Test cricket to be the main format. But I think let's move on from this. Let's go back to tomorrow's test and just talk about day two. I just want to get your final thoughts, guys, on what you hope will happen from a South African perspective. Let's start with Ashwani and then end off with Aditya.
Yeah, repeat the question.
Yeah, I just want your thoughts on tomorrow's game and what you think will be the perfect scenario for South Africa on day two.
I think South Africa should bold out England under 150. That's will be the perfect scenario. And I think after that, batsmen should take the time, and they have to remember obviously the load slope. I think it's not very, you can say that psychotic thing that obviously that load slope ball will angling through your inwards, and from left-handed it's going away from them. But I think if South African batsman shows their patience, I think. And obviously if they can take the lead above 100 and even 150, I think they are very much in the game, and obviously they can win this test. And one thing I think South Africa should remember, they should not be complacent on the opening 1 to 10 overs, because I think these are the overs where you can get all out the team, or otherwise English batsmen can score fast runs, or you cannot expect they will be around 170 or 180, and these 30, 40, 50 runs will be very crucial for the teams winning or losing.
So, Dean, if you're watching, we want ruthlessness from you guys tomorrow. Aditya?
Yeah, I agree with Ashwani that it should be around 150, 160 that South Africa roll out England for. But having said that, I just hope that the pitch hasn't changed too much overnight and with the rain, and it'll be interesting to see how the attack shapes up tomorrow. But I think South Africa should be proud of the way that they've played today, and hopefully that changes tomorrow. And hopefully that doesn't change tomorrow, and they continue to play as well as they have.
Okay, guys, that's all we have for you today on the review. It's not a long one because obviously not too much happened other than the wickets that fell, basically. Um, the Just to give you guys an update of what's going to be happening now on the channel going forward to the next day. We've got a press conference piece coming out tomorrow morning. It's pointless for me to put it up in the evening normally because we're going to probably end quite late with the matches, and people tend to be more active in the morning. So it's a nice thing as a preview, basically for the next day. It's nice to hear what the comments were said. So I'm going to put that out. We haven't been sent the press conference video yet, so I'm waiting for them to come through, and I'll upload them on the channel as soon as I get it. Guys, I upload it as soon as I get it. So yeah, so stay tuned to this channel, put on the notification bells because that's how you will get the notification of when we update that. It's KG Rabada in the presser today, so we're going to get some insight from him and how he's feeling, etc. Probably. I haven't seen it yet. I didn't go to the presser. I don't go to the presser so that I can come live as soon as possible. Otherwise, I would be in the presser and we would be having my thoughts straight after the presser. But I don't have the capacity to do everything by myself, to be in three places at once. And I want to get my reviews out as quickly as possible so that we can be there first to all of you guys and give you the information that you require of us. Don't forget to go to cricketfanaticsmag.com. You'll get your updates there too, guys. We do reports, we do reaction pieces, we'll be doing features, we'll be doing loads of great written content on the site. It's very easy to read it on your mobile device. It changes to your mobile and to your tablet and to your whatever you have. It switches to all of that. So don't worry about that. And I don't think it eats too much data either. So please go ahead support us as well with regards to that. I will try to get England's one, Lawrence, as well. Let's see if they do release it to us. There's strict things around certain unions. Like I know, for example, with India, it was tough for us to get the Indian press conferences because they didn't want to release to us. But with Pakistan, it was a lot easier. They were a lot more welcoming, as well as the West Indies. Um, I don't always want to upload the England press conferences necessarily always, because I want this to remain South African central. But I'll see if I can get hold of it and I'll try to do that if I do get it. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Ashwani, Aditya, Shot for coming on the show. We'll see you guys again tomorrow with another review show. So stay tuned to this channel. Click that notification bell so that you get the updates. Thanks a lot, guys, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace.